and I'm going to show you how I winterize a lawnmower. But first, we gotta rock! First thing you gotta do, take off the spark plug before you service anything. Yicky. We're just gonna give that some squirts. Okay. This right here, we're gonna make sure we rotate that. Oil everything underneath there. I'm gonna oil under here. It's a welding rod. I'm gonna clean all the grass from right in between here. Spray it right inside this cup. You see, this thing looks a little cleaner now. Now I'm going to go to 30. Right there. To put my spark plug back in, but before I do that, because I'm not going to kick this thing on again, I want to make sure that the combustion chamber stays rust free and is protected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of 530 right inside the combustion chamber. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that spark plug back in. Do not put this back on. The air box off. And this is the air filter with the pre-filter right here. Take that pre-filter right off. Stand over a garbage can. I'm just going to strip all this. I'm just going to go ahead and look at that filter. Looks absolutely brand new. Look at all the carburetor linkage and stuff. Any of the pivot points, I'm going to go ahead and oil those up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is drain the oil out of this bad boy. Take a look at the oil. It's actually not in bad shape because I did change it a couple of times this year. That it's right here. And that's just an Allen wrench fittings. One thing about these is this one leaks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of plumber's tape, that white Teflon tape, and I am going to wrap that around the threads before I reinstall it. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take the blade off and I'm going to kind of clean it up, grind anything that got chewed on the blade, and balance it. Blade is held on by 3 bolts. There's 2 on the side and then that center bolt right here. So I'm going to take those off and I'm going to drop this blade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a good edge back on this on both sides, and then I'm going to balance it up. Okay, so this is just basically a balancing tool. Okay, this is to balance stuff, blades specifically. Here's how I use it. Take it, I put it down, and I put the blade centered right on top of it. Now, if it stays level, it's balanced. If it doesn't, I need to balance it. This top came down. The far side came down. That means the far side is heavier than the near side. So what I need to do is I need to take off some. And that's about right too, because this edge was so out of whack, I really needed to take a lot off of it. So I need to take a little bit more off of this to balance it up. I put it back on, and now it stays in balance. It's surprising how little it takes. Here's our balance blade, ready to be reinstalled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oil on it. just to protect it through the winter. Another thing I like to do is kind of scrape down all the junk and stuff that's inside this area under the deck, and I like to oil it. There's kind of two schools of thought. If you oil it, the grass sticks to it, and so it creates more of a problem. Well, if you clean your deck, it's not going to be that big of an issue. And I look at it this way. I'd rather have the deck that collects maybe a little bit more and have to spray it off than have a deck that I have to replace because it's rusted out. Synthetic? What? 1030 synthetic? Yeah, I do. Why? Because it's worth it. Okay, some people like to drain all the gas out of it, crank it till it won't run anymore, drop the bowl, get everything completely clean. And you can do that. If that's what you want to do, you can do. I've done it both ways, honestly. And this is the way that's the easiest to do. You go to the store, get some Staybill, and then what you're going to do is it's 1 ounce to every 2.5 gallons. So really, your typical tank, you're going to need like maybe a little more than 1/4 of an ounce. So what you're going to do is you're going to tip it. And you're going to measure that out. That's a little more than 1/4 of an ounce. I'm going to open this and I'm going to pour the contents right in. I'm going to put the gas cap on. I'm going to agitate. Okay, make sure that's nice and agitated. Then I'm going to prime it a couple of times. Make sure that stabled gas gets into this bowl. Boom.